Hello, my name is DiOrio, and I'm throwing my hat into the ring to be elected to the Board of Selectmen in the town of Whitman. For those of you who don't know me, I've always been involved and devoted to the rights and needs of the individual, and now, after almost 30 years of professional experience, working with individuals going through legal difficulties with NGOs and nonprofits to make a positive change in the lives of families and seniors and young people, I'm hoping to use a common sense, compassionate brand of leadership to serve the Whitman community that I love. And I know full well that I'm not from here. I didn't grow up in Whitman, so I may not have the deep roots that some may think is important to have in a local municipal candidate for political office. Well, I chose to live in this community. I want to be here, to raise my family here. Not being from here also means that I'm not tied to any established groups or cliques or organizations. If I'm elected, I am not beholden. I represent the people that put me in office, not any special interests or special groups. Whitman's been putting off one essential question for far too long. But what kind of town do we want to live in? If we want to grow, to continue to have strong schools, to maintain support for public services, to support the finest and the bravest, the people that protect us, the people in places and things that keep our town a desirable place to raise children and build families and businesses, we have to recognize and be willing to take the steps necessary to build our future with a solid capital plan, not just for next year, but for the next 10 years to prepare for the needs to come, and they are coming. The old politics of stay the course when it comes to the budget has resulted in a continuing and growing fiscal crisis in Whitman. In my 3 years sitting on Whitman's Finance Committee, I've seen that the easy choice of applying temporary fiscal bandages to the bleeding has done nothing to heal the underlying wounds perpetuated by not addressing the true causes of the problems. We need leadership that's able to make hard decisions about the future. Leadership that isn't bound to the way we've done things in the past. Our educational system in town has for some time been diminished by dollar inequalities in spending between the two regionally bound systems of Whitman and Hanson. We need to revisit this inequality and fight harder in the budget process to be sure that Whitman students and their families are getting an equitable share of educational funding. And we also need to do the same for our police, for our firefighters, for our public works department, and all of the other departments that are asked to continually provide more services without the resources necessary to do it. Finally, and most importantly, I believe that leadership is about character. And a question of character is what drove me to decide to jump into the arena this political term. I know that our corner of Massachusetts isn't like others when it comes to politics, but during the recent election cycle, I was stunned to see people sitting in authority in town government openly embracing candidates that preach bigotry, racial bias, ethnic biases, and religious intolerance. And I could no longer turn a blind eye simply because somebody's a nice guy or we've known him forever. We as a community must consider how this type of belief and internal ideology affect the decision-making processes of these elected officials. It's time to put aside such thinking in favor of common sense and compassionate problem solving. This is an uphill fight. This is an uphill fight against entrenched interests, but I am ready to engage for you. With your support, we can make this happen. With your engagement, I will be proud to serve as your selectman. I ask that you like our Facebook page at DiOrio for Selectman, and also go to our website, DiOrioforSelectman.com, and log in, ask questions. I'll be happy to answer them. And if you want to volunteer, by all means do so. There are plenty of opportunities down the road. Like I said, this is a long fight. Today is day one. We can make this change. We will make this change.